Hello, happy Tuesday, and welcome back to Soul. Thanks for joining me this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, whether you are in the Northern Hemisphere, the Southern Hemisphere, all the way out in Australia, wherever you are. I'm very grateful to have you here. And today, I would like to explore the importance of practicing not just the things that we want to be, but also the things that we don't want to be. What do I mean by that? Often we'll focus on practicing positive activities, like let's say, you're looking to do something or to become someone, you've got a vision board, everything that you want to do, be it yoga, mindfulness, piano, how to be a better partner, how to be good at your job, absolutely anything that you're focusing on. However, it's equally important to catch ourselves when the negative traits surface and practice working through those triggers as well. Now, we all have moments when we act in ways we're probably not very proud of, whether it's being grumpy, being impatient, not being very nice. And recognizing these moments is the first step towards change. Just as we practice a skill to improve, we must also practice minimizing our negative behaviors. Take, for example, practicing grace. That means you're going to respond with kindness and understanding even in difficult situations. When someone cuts you in traffic, or let's say a colleague makes a mistake that costs you your work, not your job, but hopefully, instead of reacting with anger, we want to pause and choose to respond with grace. So what we want to focus on is catching that initial surge of frustration and transforming it into something more compassionate. Similarly, if you consider the practice of not being grumpy, we all have days when we wake up on the wrong side of the bed. But if you let that grumpiness dictate your actions, that can negatively affect your interactions and your mood probably for the entire day. So when we feel like it's creeping in, we want to pause. Let's have a think. What is it? Is it stress, fatigue? So really what we want to do, first of all, is understand where it's coming from. So step number 1, we're going to acknowledge it. And step number 2 is, we then want to consciously decide to shift our mindset. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in the process. By being present and aware of our thoughts and emotions, we can then catch ourselves in the moments of negativity. So once you've acknowledged it, right, you've identified it, that mindfulness does not mean, stop and meditate for a minute. No, rather, just be very present and identify the fact that this is how you're currently feeling. And instead of letting it take control, observe it without judgment, and then choose a different path. Now, this practice of awareness and choice will gradually rewire our habitual responses. Very importantly, working through those triggers involves understanding the root cause. There's a lot of reflection that has to go on why situations or people are triggering negative reactions. Is it something in the past that happened? Is it someone that maybe there's unmet expectations or something else? If a specific situation always leads you to stress, then prepare yourself mentally beforehand. We always want to practice. Of course, the best case scenario is getting yourself out of this out of this situation. But if you have to be in it, well, then let's practice controlling it, right? And not allowing it to control us. This is something we have to integrate in our everyday life. It's exactly like practicing the piano. My music professor always used to say, practice, practice, practice. That comes from a music joke, so I won't bore you with that. But really, it's incorporating that practice into our everyday. You will never be good at playing the piano unless you practice. Similarly, you will never be good at controlling your anger, your grumpiness, etc., unless you practice. So it's not only practicing being more graceful and being more kind, but practicing controlling the negative traits as well. And of course, step number 3, celebrate your progress. No matter how small, be gentle with yourself, especially when you slip up. By doing all of that, we become more balanced, compassionate, and most importantly, resilient individuals. That means that whatever anyone throws your way, you're going to be able to handle it. You're no longer boggled, right? You don't let it affect you. You know how to control it. Now remember, we do this as always, step by step, day by day. Happy acknowledging, being present and mindful in the moment to control the emotion, and of course, celebrating the progress. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next week on Soul.